Welcome back to the Nonprofit World TV show. I want to welcome back our guest, Natasha Juhas, and I also want to welcome Tony Vera. He is the Vice Commander of the VFW 7330. And I have a question for you. I understand that your 7330 is the biggest in the region. And what I wanted to know was, how do you go about attracting veterans from more recent conflicts than, World War I, World War II? I'm sure World War I, there's probably almost no one left from that period. But how do you attract sort of more recent veterans of more recent conflicts?
Well, we are the largest VFW post in New England. We have almost 900 members. We do have our fair share of guys from the Vietnam era, from the Korean era. We have a couple of members that are still hanging around from the World War II era. But we do struggle with trying to find people who are from the younger generation, like I am, from the 90s up into the 2000s, who have served in overseas conflicts. And there is a bit of a stigma with the VFW because a lot of people think it's just, a smoky bar room and cheap beer, and that's really not what we're out there to do. We do a lot. We promote nothing but families. We help veterans who come back in need. We help veterans who can't get help through the VA. We help veterans who are stuck in government ruts. We do a lot for families. We do cookouts and barbecues, and we have bingo nights and things like that. It's a lot different than what your father's VFW would have been if you had looked at a VFW 20 years ago.
Okay, and also it sounds like because more recent wars involved women fighting as well, I imagine that also changes the flavor.
Absolutely. Yes. We have quite a few female members. I mean, it doesn't matter to us. I mean, if you are a veteran and you have served in a foreign war, it doesn't matter. I mean, we
welcome everyone.
Absolutely,
Great.
Without question.
Wonderful. So I wanted to give Natasha the opportunity. We spoke during the segment with Natasha, we spoke about how she has been very involved and has taken a leadership role in Toastmasters. And Toastmasters helps prepare people for speaking publicly. And I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity, Natasha, for you to actually ask most of the questions of Tony, since I understand you have known him for 13 years. So, Natasha, what kinds of questions would you like to ask Tony about his vice commander role at VFW?
Well, thank you very much, Donna, for this opportunity. Tony, thank you so much for joining us. I know it wasn't easy, probably, decision to come out on television. But because I know you so well, and Donna, maybe you don't know, maybe I missed wishing him happy birthday, but this, for 13 years, I don't think I ever missed the opportunity of wishing you.
She has never missed a Veterans Day.
A Veterans
Ever.
Day.
Ah.
Whether it's by text, whether it's by phone call. I haven't seen you, but
No.
And the reason for that the first thing about Tony, when you meet him, you know that Tony was in the service. He's the most American in the good sense of that word that you can find, who loves this country dearly and served this country and very proud of it. So I think my question will be very related to that. We are, obviously, people do come to this country for a reason. And most of them are very proud to be in this country, and most of them are very proud to this opportunity to serve this country. In my homeland country, it is a mandatory service for a male. Since their age of 18, you have to go to the Army, unless you have some physical restrictions not to. In Israel, let's say, they're for both male and females. At the age of 19, you have to be in the service. In this country, there is no mandatory service in the military. Why do you think that, and do you think it should be mandatory service in this country?
Well, my personal opinion is this country is completely voluntary. And if you look back, let's say you go back to like World War II, that generation of people volunteered for a much different reason than the people today did, or even when I did. I had my my grandfather and 4 uncles were all in World War II. 2 Navy, 2 Army, 1 Army Air Corps. All 5 came back. But they volunteered for a completely different reason. I mean, they volunteered because we were at war. Some people go in and never want to go to war. Now, I went in the 90s, and we were in the Iraqi war, and I actually did 10 years. But I do believe that everybody should contribute, whether it be military service or community service or something along those lines. Everybody should give back something to be able to sit here in this country and enjoy the blanket of freedom that this country provides.
You've mentioned also that your daughter asked you the other day.
My daughter is a junior in college, and she asked me just the other day, she asked me what I thought about her finishing out her college career and then joining the military, and I fully support it. She had asked, what branch, and I gave her my suggestions, and I completely support it.
Were you surprised she
No.
asked you?
No, I wasn't surprised at all, because I'm a veteran. Her mother's a veteran. Her grandfather's a veteran. I mean, she comes from a military family, so it doesn't shock me at all. I mean, she talked about it since she was a little girl. When she started college, I was actually surprised that she did not go into like an ROTC type of program. But when she decided she wanted to be a doctor, it's a longer term commitment. But if that's what she wants to do, yeah, I completely support her. I would like to, offer, like I said, offer my suggestions to her, but whatever she decides, I mean, that's my girl.
I have a curious question. VFW, you were mentioning that you do a lot of community engagement for the members. Do you also educate young people, like your daughter, for instance, but not your
Absolutely,
daughter?
we do, and I've done it. This is the time of year, Memorial Day, and we're coming up on Veterans Day. So I don't know if you've seen those little red poppies that we go out.
Yes.
So this is the time of year that we do that. So I go out to like a Stop and Shop or the county fairs or a Walmart. I just spend all day talking to people and selling those poppies. And you talk to people about what the VFW does and what we have to offer and what people's options are if they want younger kids, if they want to go into the military, or if they're separated veterans that want to come into the VFW. I mean, we've probably collected 15 or 20 members just in the last couple of weeks from me standing out in front of like a Stop and Shop or something.
Sure, so the community outreach.
Guys that just don't understand what's out there. They get back from the service, they settle down, and they don't understand that the VFW is there, and they can help them. And they can help them with claims, they can help them with VA affairs, they can help them with disability affairs if they're disabled, or if they just want to bring their family out for a nice dinner. We do it every week.
So, Natasha, you are in your profession, at least for both in your profession and also for Toastmasters, you do social media engagement. Would you have any tips for Tony in terms of social media platforms and other ways to find those veterans of foreign wars that maybe aren't, they don't have VFW on their radar?
Looks like Tony mastered this Stop and Shop strategy pretty good. And you're absolutely right. When we go into holidays, different types of holidays, we all see members collecting donations, and it's always a good time to talk to them. Not everyone understands what those organizations are all about, and social media is the big vehicle to drive the attention to any organizations. And I think the secret of success on the social media is the telling the story. Not the telling the story or organization, whether VFW is the largest and oldest veterans organization, but maybe talk about the story of post-7330, not just doing a bingo night, maybe post the little videos and clips from your dinners. Coming up, let's say, if there's a holiday for Valentine's Day and you host an event, and that should be advertising, because the stories of people with not just hypothetical stories of people getting flowers and chocolate, let's say, for Valentine's Day,
Sure.
people, let's say, from I don't know. They've been together for 37 years, and they're celebrating their day in our club, and shows those smiley faces will be definitely warming stories that attract attention. I've heard some clubs or some posts are doing races, 5Ks. It's a mild race. It's not something that people cannot do, but it's also a good cause for that, and they're fun.
Yes.
I just went to the marathon one in Hartford.
Oh, yes.
It's a fun race. So more you shine the light on people's story within your club. And it's not easy because you have to have a manpower. Somebody's got to take the pictures, put the little stories to them, post them on a regular basis, and as much as you can, attract some type of engagement, and that's
Sure.
how word gets out, and that's how.
See, and Natasha nailed it. I mean, with the younger generation, those guys that are, that are getting out in the 2000s, not my generation, but the generation after that.
Right.
You got to hit social media. I don't know anything about Twitter, other than it's
another
there.
social media
but
channel, right?
you have to put that word out there, and I am trying to work on a Facebook page for the Post because that's how people live their lives now.
Sure.
Everything is digital.
Sure.
People walk around, they have that phone in their hand all the time. So you have to hit that that arm of media
Yes.
to get people in, and that's what we're trying to do.
So have you thought of recruiting actually a member from the 2000s as as a social media, like your
No,
social
actually,
media
she's going to
person?
help me. She's my social media expert.
I think that you also you have a lot of good thoughts as well. So maybe a person that you want to be in your post and and they went to those wars, they went to Iraq, they went to Afghanistan, maybe you will ask them to produce some type of content for you, because people like to help and tell their own stories, how they went, and especially if they are applying for some type of disabilities. And you mentioned the one thing that I really wanted to get out, that is that this organization also help veterans if they cannot get anywhere with veterans. And Tony, you might want to say that because I think it's very important for people to know.
This is the most important thing we do. I mean, we exist to help veterans. So the VA, the Veterans Administration, is the second largest organization budget-wise in the government, next to the Pentagon. Yet, people wait weeks and months and can't get help, can't get the right prescriptions, can't get the care that they need. So these veterans that come back from these wars, some of these guys, and honestly, with the kind of wars that we wage today in this society, they come back and they need a little more help then. It's not a physical injury.
So it sounds like the VFW helps them navigate.
We do. We actually have a lot of ties within state government and federal government that can kind of expedite claims for if a guy needs a disability adjustment, if he needs disability, if he needs health care, if he needs something that he can't get in a timely manner through the regular channels of the VA. We at the VFW can help him because it's not just me. We have another commander. Because of the size of our club, we have the state commander, Richie DeFederico, is the state commander for Connecticut. He knows everybody. So we can expedite claims when claims need to be expedited to get guys help. I mean, that's what we're here for. That's really what we're really here for.
Does the VFW, is it a membership organization?
We are membership driven. So, members help sustain the club. The fundraising and the things that we do outside of that, 100% of that money goes exactly to veterans. I tell people, when I go out and I do these poppy things during, Veterans Day or Memorial Day, and I'll tell people, it's a penny for a poppy, but that penny goes in somebody's pantry. It helps a guy pay his phone bill or his car note or his mortgage, or he's got kids that are hungry. That money goes 100% to veterans. And there's a lot of organizations out there that are for veterans, like Wounded Warriors and 22 and 9 Line or
I would imagine VFW is probably
VFW
the oldest, if not one of the oldest.
Well, VFW is the only one that 100% of those donations go to veterans. The other ones have, they take the donations and there's some overhead that has to go along with that. But we take donations and 100% of it goes to veterans. And that's it. I mean, we don't spend that money on anything else.
Yeah. Okay. So, Natasha, do you have one last question that you would like to ask Tony so we can learn more about the VFW?
Well, first of all, how to find to your Facebook page?
Right now, I'm working on that, but go to vfw.org. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and your Facebook page, actually they have to put on the search bar is a post 7330.
7330.
And
We're
we'll find it.
7330, we're in Oakville, Connecticut.
Correct.
And Oakville is a section
It's just south of Watertown.
Okay, Watertown.
In between Watertown
Right.
and Waterbury.
Right. And you mentioned that it is the largest
It's the largest
in
VFW in
New
New England.
England. Right. And how many are there in New England?
How many posts? I
quite-
don't
quite
have an
quite a
answer.
number, right?
Actually, there's, a lot of the smaller posts are closing because of, as you said, the membership is not sustaining the actual post. But so we're absorbing a lot of those members. I don't know what the actual number is, but we're not focused on that as much as we are focused on helping the veterans.
Sure. And how long have you had the vice commander role?
It's been a while.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. I'm sure that it's through your leadership that it has grown
Not
to
just
be.
me. No, it's not. It certainly is not just me. Like I said, we have a post commander. I'm a vice commander. We have a state commander. It's not one person that drives the boat. I mean, there's a lot of us that are.
So it
that
takes
are-
a team.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
wonderful. Well, Tony, thank you so much for being with us tonight and telling us a little bit more about VFW and
Thank you.
7330. If we have veterans out there who are listening and want to learn more about it, go to vfw.org for more information. Thank you. This has been another episode of the NonProfit World TV Show. Our producer is Sara DeGraff. Thank you.